Perfectly excellent.
What's up, party people? I don't know if we ever said kudos to Chester Copperpot for that intro tune because it sets the mood. Yeah, Chester Copperpot, great band from Sweden. Look them up if you dig our intro song because that's where it's from.
Conveniently
on
on Popkid Records.
Yeah, which did we ever talk about that? I think
Not
we
so
did
much.
a little bit, right? Not so much. Maybe one day.
We'll have to do it. Again, I have this funny idea that we just have a whole bunch of people from bands come on and we talk to them about all of the dumb things that we've done over the last 30-something years.
We should get that going. We haven't had a musical guest, and maybe they could play live.
Yeah, no, probably not.
Yes, but welcome to episode 49 of Perfectly Excellent, the show that brings you all things that are perfect and mostly excellent.
And Lee.
Sometimes. Yes, perfect.
Don't forget Lee.
Perfectly excellent. Don't forget Lee. How's it going with your Mayor McCheese shirt this evening?
Oh, it's going pretty okay, I suppose. It's like as we were commenting before we started, and Chester Copperpot lifted our spirits. It's been a couple weeks. I'm kind of tired, but I have tomorrow off, for which I am grateful, and I'm looking forward to a long weekend full of going to see Chris Gether do stand-up comedy in Red Bank tomorrow. And then on Sunday, I think I'm going to drive down to South Jersey to go to a toy show.
Oh, for Father's Day?
Yes.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very inspired by you. You've been getting out and doing some things.
I'm trying.
Lots of things. Yeah.
And I keep hearing about more things. There's so much stuff that's just a little too far away. But yeah, we'll have to see. Once things settle down a little bit on your end, I think we need to try to maybe plan some longer road trippy things.
Okay. Well, there is what was it, RetroCon?
That one's coming. Yeah, that one's definitely on the agenda for September.
Mm-hmm.
But there's
stuff. Too many games next weekend going solo. So it should be interesting. But we can talk more about that later. Do you want to perhaps exchange of inventions before we jump into our 6 demon bag today?
Yeah, this is demon bag number 1.
Perfectly excellent.
Also Chester Copperpot.
Yeah, I was going to say another musical interlude by Chester Copperpot. We should put up how MTV used to do in the music videos, Chester Copperpot and the song and the album and everything. I've got so many things here. I don't know where to start.
You don't want to peak too early.
No, I don't. But I'm going to go with one that I haven't even opened yet, so we can experience the joy of unboxing live and in person via live stream. Okay?
Via satellite.
Here's a box from Ami.
Yes.
With a nice big dent.
Yes,
divots.
Good one. It's a good box.
I love when my boxes come with big divots in them.
Yes.
I got a package from the post office the other day wrapped in, we're sorry tape. So that was pleasant.
I have some postage stories, but we'll save them for another day when we're not pressed
for the postage
time.
Episode when we go postal. But yeah, Ami always gives you a nice little postcard thingy. Thank you for shopping with us. And they pack their stuff. I don't know if you ever ordered from them, but they pack things incredibly well. But let's go and remove that. And wait for it.
Yes. Yes. Oh, it's Samus. How do you even say that?
I think it's Samus. That's how I've always said it. Yes. But yeah, this is that. What is that? Shogren Samus Aran for Metroid Prime 4. Not my favorite Metroid, but I'm pretty psyched about this. Look at that.
Very nice. Does it have a window?
And in person. So yeah, what these are. Say again.
Does it have a window box?
No window.
Can we see it?
Stand by. Let's see what happens.
Oh my goodness.
This is these are die-cast metal, correct? These Shogun.
Are you
things?
asking me or telling me?
I think. Well, you told me. I think you had a Godzilla one of these. Oh
I have.
Is that
a Chogokin? Is that a Soul of Chogokin?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Oh yes, they're usually mostly metal.
Woohoo! Is anything gonna fall out when I do that? No. Okay, we're safe. Yeah, that looks great. Wow, has lights and everything.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
very
I have
excited.
a Mechagodzilla one, and it is one of the nicest things that I own.
Yeah.
Period, not just toys. Like,
Yeah, this looks amazing. It's heavy too.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, I'm excited to play with this thing. I did pay a tariff on it, which was
Did you?
Which is a thing, I guess, that we still do.
I guess so.
Yeah. So the DHL delivered it. Well, they were saying they were going to deliver it, but not until I paid the $30-something that I, it's kind of like extortion. So, but yeah, super psyched. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Metroid Prime 4, not my favorite Metroid. We could maybe talk about that later in the game section.
Yeah, but still, a good look. Like the character design seems relatively similar game to game from my limited experience.
Yes, the only thing different is this one has a little like bejeweled on her noggin, on her helmet.
All right, I'm okay with that.
I think it lights up. Yeah, not a big deal. I would have preferred it without that. But yeah, this looks really cool. So very excited. Cool. This has been sitting in the box for like a week or two now. So now
Time to
free,
go.
Free to breathe. And now, let's,
hang on.
I can keep going. I got more stuff, but
do you need to do more things or just one? You're just doing one?
no, I think I'll just do one. I'm going to save stuff for next time.
All right, so mine is another one of those vintagey things that I've been looking for, and this is a thing that I didn't know existed because I didn't see this movie when I was a kid. I didn't see it until a bit later, maybe college.
Okay.
But it's a movie that we both love.
Hey, that's great. That is so cool.
So we got the Kidco Cannonball Run ambulance, which is a bigger size than the Ertl one, and it looks a lot nicer. So I hunted down one of these. I couldn't resist keeping it on the card. It's just look at him. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look how happy he is.
Captain Chaos. No, that's amazing. These are so cool.
Yeah, so I'm loving this, and I also need to do a big shout out. Hang on one second. Let me.
We're shouting out.
We're shouting.
And something's happening. Oh my gosh.
So MOC Frames, Mint on Card Frames, made this frame for me custom so that I could display this because this is not a standard sized card.
Oh.
And I wasn't really able to find anything that could protect it and to display it without it getting all messed up. So yeah, he makes these custom. He has a bunch of stuff that's standard sized for lots of figures like, Turtles, Star Wars, that sort of thing. But you can also get custom stuff. So now I have this and a nice way to display it.
And the orange looks good. And look at that. It's not even punched out on that card. So nice.
It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Cool. Well, good
Big
shout out there.
fan of that. Yeah. So I guess we just keep demon bagging on. Is that a thing?
Sounded awful, but sure. Let's do that.
Should we say that?
Yeah. I've been itching to talk about some of this stuff. So let's bag on.
We're going to start with the one that you weren't itching to talk about because I didn't think of it until today.
Oh, which one was that?
Oh, wait, hang on. Let me do that. Okay, now we're ready. Here we go.
Perfectly excellent.
That's today. Today. Today is, I never know exactly how to do this, but today is either the 30th birthday or 30th anniversary of the Beck album Odelay. And I wanted to talk about this a little bit with you because it's one of those like really pivotal records for me. Maybe not the most important or influential, but like I have to say, it was probably the most I've ever looked forward to a new release in my entire life.
Okay, so take us back. Take us back to that time. Tell us about it.
before 1996, in 1994, Beck released the album Mellow Gold, which is how he came on my radar. And like that record was my world, you know. It's sort of one of the reasons why I met you, because I started going to the record store that you worked at, Flipside, like looking for other Beck stuff. Because again, in kind of like the pre-internet era, you didn't really know what was out there, and it was one of those things where I kept finding other Beck things that I didn't know about because he was just releasing all sorts of stuff all over the place.
You had to put in the legwork back then, right? You had to look, and you were affectionately known as the Beck Kid.
Yep, when I first started showing up.
Yep.
So
we knew you were on the hunt for Beck stuff.
And again, like it was my absolute world in like 94, beginning of 95. It was very much sort of like my introduction into like indie rock, punk rock, like all that kind of stuff. That's sort of the first building block for moving into that stuff, as some of the things that were going on in the world of hip hop were becoming kind of less interesting to me. It was one of those instances where like the lofty expectations I had for this record could not have possibly been met. Like, I wanted it to be so great, and it's good. It's a very good record. It has.
I thought you were going to say it met them. It lived up to the challenge.
It was a very good record with several excellent songs, and I have to say that at the time, I definitely wanted to like it more than I did. I did like it. I am not saying anything negative.
Your expectations were just crazy.
I just wanted it to be something that it wasn't. The Beck stuff that I liked was very like goofy and sarcastic and very kind of like off the cuff, not really caring, it seemed, a whole lot. You know, he was sort of like an outsider, you know, throwing a wry eye at the world sort of guy. And this record, I always felt like, oh, he cares now. Like he's putting real effort into this. This is something he sees as being really important, whereas the other stuff had kind of like an off the cuff sort of vibe to it that like that's what I really kind of connected with. So I especially think that like over the last 30 years, I don't know that this record has aged particularly well for me.
Oh, you're making me sad now. I thought this was going to be like.
No, it is. It's a good record. I'm happy that it exists. I really like it. But there's dozens, if not maybe more than 100 records from this same general era that I listen to way more than I ever listened to Odelay. You know, if I'm listening to Beck, I'm usually listening to the 94 era stuff. Mellow Gold, One Foot in the Grave, Stereopathetic Soul Manure, the various singles from the era. That's my Beck. So in a lot of ways, and one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about it, and this isn't a bad thing, even though it probably is going to sound negative.
Okay.
This release kind of closed the door on the thing that brought me into punk rock to begin with. You know, not that I ever stopped liking Beck. You know, I have pretty much all of his other records, and I enjoy all of them to various degrees. But this was kind of the moment that I knew for sure that he wasn't the be-all, end-all. Because, you know, by the time this record comes out, I'm listening to Rocket from the Crypt. I'm listening to Leatherface. I'm listening to Snuff. I'm listening to those other bands that were becoming super important to me. So this sounded very tame in comparison.
All right. I can see that. But again, I can appreciate that it was a stepping stone that got you into a whole new realm of sounds.
Yeah, no. It's again, it is a very good record. There's like 5 great songs on this record. But I'm always going to be like a Mellow Gold era guy when it comes to Beck, you know? And I also just kind of wanted to ask you a little bit about it because you very specifically helped hunt down some of these singles and stuff for me. So like, what was it like in the record store when Beck was a thing? Did people other than me care about it? Granted, I realized that the store didn't necessarily cater to that exact sort of thing.
Yeah. It's funny. I remember, I don't think anyone could top you as far as being a Beck fan that I recall during that era. But this record, I do remember, was surprising how many people came in to ask about it. So I don't know. I don't know where he was in his career at that time, but yeah, there was a lot of interest here. I never quite heard anything about it though. I know we played we had it in the store, we played it. I couldn't tell you anything about it. But yeah, I think it did moderately okay, but not something that had legs. Like maybe we sold a couple, but our store. Like it was a weird store. Yeah.
It was not.
We definitely sold a couple when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know that I couldn't tell you any songs on this one, but I do love the cover for what that's worth. So
it is a good cover. I mean, it's the record that made his whole career, essentially. So the fact that he pretty much got to stay being a musician for the rest of his life is because he made this record. So even though it's not exactly what I wanted out of it, for him, I'm glad it happened. He deserves it because, again, super, super pivotal for me.
Well, cheers to Beck. Let's raise our glass to Beck and 30 years of Odelay.
I wrote a little bit more about it on ibuywaytooManyRecords.com, talking a little bit about some of the stuff that was going on at the time. But I just wanted to chat a little bit before we moved on to the next thing.
That's good. It's good to recognize. It's crazy to me that records are 30 years old. Like records that we bought are 30 years old, because that does not seem feasible at all.
The as nutty as that is, all of those records from 1991 that are like 35 years old now, like that for some reason is once again blowing my mind, even though 5 years ago it blew my mind that they were 30 years old. So just the time marching on is such a bizarre thing.
Yeah. I like doing this though. I like recognizing the anniversary / birthday of some of this stuff. That's something we should do more as we as we think past, but I don't keep track of any, so it's hard to really know how old things are. But
yeah, well, a really important one coming up is the 20th. I think that's Sunday. Is Blues Brothers Day. That's when the Blues Brothers came out in 1980. So it'll be 46 years old this year. So that's another biggie coming up.
Blues Brothers 2000 or
perfectly excellent.
On to the next.
technical issues there. I'm psyched. Yeah, I'm so eager to talk about this. I've wanted to get out to the theater to see it. It just hasn't happened. So take me through this experience.
Well, I'm not going to do like a plot breakdown or anything like that, because this is a 6 demon bags. We're going to keep it kind of brief. But I did go and see Masters of the Universe in the theater, which going to see 2 movies in the theater within the span of a month, that's a lot for me these days. But it was one that I really, really wanted to see. I did go into it optimistic, but I was fully prepared to be let down. Especially after The Mandalorian and Grogu, which I went in with probably slightly higher expectations for. So I think it hit me a little harder when I didn't really like that one all that much. But when we were done watching Masters of the Universe, I really liked it.
Oh, that's
did.
Great.
I really enjoyed this movie. It's not perfect. The comedy is not really dialed in tight enough for me. While some of it was pretty funny, a lot of it felt like they were trying too hard, leaning on like awkward character interactions. And, they were kind of working blue in a lot of places with like the Fisto and Ram Man innuendo jokes that I didn't think really added a whole lot. The final climactic battle was probably a little weirder than it needed to be, but man, there was so much more good than bad when I was watching.
That's awesome. That must have been a relief too, to just sit and watch it and enjoy it. Like I hate that that's how we go to the theater these days, but it's like, you're like, oh, please just be fun. Like you just want to have a good time.
And that's what it was. This movie is fun. It's just
Cool.
a lot of fun. It's really colorful, which I like because, He-Man is colorful. It's just full of really bright, vibrant characters. And so many movies that come out these days, like they just tone everything down and make everything so like muddy and gritty and stuff. Not Masters of the Universe. It is just vibrant, just screaming with color all over the place. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It knows that it's supposed to be fun. The He-Man cartoon was not serious. It was goofy. And they leaned into it. And I really liked that. There were some fun little Easter eggs, but not to the point of ridiculousness the way seems to happen with things these days. I feel like all of these like movies about older things from when we were kids, they just cram in every silly Easter egg they can think of.
Yeah, they have to do the fan service, right? They gotta you gotta put this thing in for people to go, ooh, 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 there's the thing.
But like there's enough stuff in Masters of the Universe where they don't need to hide it. Like it's just like, oh, whoa, look, a Roton, that's just like a big thing that's in the movie. So that sort of stuff was really fun.
How was
hang on. I know what you're going to ask.
Okay.
So I'm going to say a sentence I never thought I would say. Jared Leto was excellent as Skeletor.
That was it. Okay. Because that was my biggest concern about this, based on his stellar performance in Tron.
I have never seen him be in anything that wasn't pretty bad. Mm-hmm. He was perfect. Funny, weird, like unhinged to the point where there were times where there was real menace and malice, and you could sort of feel like, oh, okay, this dude is actually evil. But, he has lots of his like catchphrases from the cartoon. He called some people, bumbling boobs and things like that. Like he did a phenomenal job with it. I can't imagine anyone else being able to do a better job than he did.
So I guess he's got the chops. I guess I don't know what happened in all of his other movies, but this was his breakout role. Okay.
It was great. Now, I don't know what happens next. They definitely set up a sequel, but from what I've read, it doesn't seem like this movie did all that well, but it is an Amazon movie, so I imagine that part of their plan is to have it be on Prime and be a thing there as well. So I imagine there's some value in it. So I'm hopeful we get some more of these movies because, I thought it was really fun. I really enjoyed it, and I like watching movies that are just a good time.
And this seems like one of those movies that will have a lot of life after the theater. I know things are weird now. There's not there's not rentals really as much. Yeah, but I'm eager to see this. I won't get to see it on the big screen, but as soon as I get the opportunity, I will definitely watch this one because I just like fun, and I have very little invested in this universe. So just give me a fun time and I'm there. And it looks good. Cool. I'm really relieved though to hear that you had a good time. Like I know the Mandalorian didn't live up to it, so I'm glad this kind of redeemed your theater going experience.
Yeah, and again, you've known me for a really long time, and you know that He-Man is one of those things. Like that's one of my favorite properties. I hate calling it stuff like that, but it's one of my favorite entertainment. It's one of my favorite entertainments.
That's what I was looking for. This is an expression of the entertainment.
No, but I love He-Man. So the fact that they made a movie that was good just makes me happy, especially because I don't like the 1987 He-Man movie. I think that movie stinks. This one was way better than that.
Okay. Are you inspired to purchase anything from this movie or collect any He-Mans associated with this?
So I'm definitely going to buy the Blu-ray when it comes out because I will want to own that. As far as the toys go, I am just trying. Again, it's space. It's space. I'm sticking with the Origins vintage line with the characters that were mostly from, the original series and some ones that didn't get made back then that were part of a plan. Okay. I can't rebuy a whole bunch of characters with movie likenesses. I don't have room for them. So
Gotcha.
I'm not going to buy any of the stuff. As tempted as I was by the giant life-size sword that has a straw in it that you can fill with soda at the theater, was not actually tempted, but it was. There's interesting stuff, but I gotta hold back. I do also really much need to point out that bag of popcorn behind Ram Man in the picture up there, that is the single worst popcorn I have ever had in my entire life.
Impressive.
It's like they dropped an entire bag of salt in there. It was inedible. It was.
Props to AMC for setting that bar so low.
Oh, they get the gas face. Like it was horrible. That said, I did act like it was so bad that I complained and I got a voucher for a free popcorn for next time I go to the movies. It was inedible. It was so awful. But the movie was great. So good time.
There you go. No Taco Bell this time?
No. I went to a later showing, so it was post dinner time.
Cool. Well, I'm super psyched. That is good news.
Yes.
Again, because like you and I have talked about it, like we really part of this whole thing we're doing is just to focus on the good stuff and not be negative. And that's great. I'm really excited. I'm even more excited to see it now, knowing that it has your seal of approval and that Jared Leto did not single-handedly destroy the movie.
Nah, he's probably the best thing in it.
Wow. Well, hopefully they'll do a sequel and he can, continue on his role there. So
I hope so.
Cool.
All right, ready for the next one?
What is next? What do we got coming up?
Next is you. You had an idea.
I had an
Perfectly
idea.
excellent.
I don't remember what. Yeah.
You threw this out as something that you wanted to talk about. It wasn't like a fully fleshed out, like, hey, I want to talk about A, B, C, and D. But you said you've been thinking a lot about your gaming habits, and you wanted to kind of chat through that a little bit.
Yeah, I might have mixed signals on this because I was talking about my purchasing habits of other things. But I'm glad you brought this up because I've been exhausted lately. Like I've just had no energy to do anything. So I've kind of like but you know how you want to do something, like you need to reclaim some time for yourself at some point in the day. So I've been making a conscious effort to just stop doom scrolling and to actually play some games. And I don't know, I feel like I've been falling back into like getting back into gaming, right? Like instead of being a super casual, I guess, these past years.
Well, one of the ways where I think we can kind of tie it into your purchasing habits, and the reason why I went and found these old pictures of yours is ever since I've known you, you've had a gaming backlog of stuff that you may or may not ever actually get to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. And I think that's very common for a game. Like, I wanted to ask, too, if that's ever applies to, like, music or other categories, but we can come back to that. But, yeah, there is a backlog. Like, you see games on sale, you buy it, and then it just goes on into the pile and into the pile. And then I'm realizing now at my advanced age that I have more games that I will ever be able to play in my lifetime.
Yes.
So I need to kind of like what you were saying too, where you need to make sure you're focusing your time where it's important. I'm trying to do that with games as well. Normally I would buy a game and whether I liked it or not, I would play it to the end, but I'm not doing that so much anymore. And if you recall that Metroid figure that I just got from Metroid 4, that is a recent release, Metroid 4. But it is so boring and just such a chore to play that I decided, you know what? I'm just going to stop and I'm not going to invest any more time in this. And I'm just going to move on. So
that's good. One of the things that I say this to my wife all the time, because like I've been talking about this sort of stuff a lot. And one of the other things that I'm doing less and less as the years go by is buying new music. And one of the reasons is because at my advanced age, which isn't nearly as advanced
No,
as
no,
you.
you're mildly advanced.
You are at least 700 plus days older than me. So
Yes.
you are quite a ways. I mean, if we broke that into hours, like we're talking astronomical numbers here
Yes.
of how much older you are than I am.
Yeah, when you reach my age, look as good you will not. So
but I feel like I only have time for great now.
Yeah.
I don't have time for very good plus. I don't have time for like I need great. I want to spend my time listening to great, watching great. Like I just don't want to waste time with average anymore.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense. Again, time is finite, and I'm pretty sure you don't get to play games, when your time is up. So that's exactly what I did. Metroid 4 I was like slogging through it. And I've done that so much. Like I used to just burn through games, whether they were terrible, I would just sit and play them to the end, but I'm not doing it anymore. Instead, I'm about 60 something hours into a game called Valkyria Chronicles 3, which has just been phenomenal. And I'm sizing up what I want to get into next. And it's just like, what is important and what is the good stuff. And sadly, Metroid is just not it. So, but that I'm going to
put a good word in again for Adventures of Lolo. I really think you need to kind of give that one more of a chance.
Okay. Yeah. And I did enjoy that until I got to one puzzle, which just is not solvable. So I stopped playing. I'm like, there is no way to solve this. This is the end of the game. This is broken. But even like just looking at this list, like Fable 3 was not great. Force Unleashed was good. I mean, these are all very, very old games. Vanquish was great. So, okay, maybe not a good example here. Red Dead Redemption. A lot of good stuff here.
It was funny though. I went onto your Flickr page and I typed in the search term backlog and it hit like 14 different pictures.
Yeah. I mean, gamers, it's such a common thing because when you see games go on sale, there's just like, oh, this needs to buy it. And then even once it's in your collection, we could do a whole episode probably talking about backlogs because once it's in your collection, once you own it, the urge to play it sometimes lessens and you'll still look for new games.
Here's the thing, and you might be surprised to hear this because I am not a big gamer. I'm not a buy a ton of games sort of person. But when I got my Switch, it was like right before some of the holidays. It was right before like my birthday and Christmas, which are quite close to each other. And I just got like a bunch of games. And even though that was like 2 or 3 years ago, there are games that are still in their wrapper that I never opened. Like the Pikmin for Switch, I've never even opened it. And I know that I like Pikmin, but I also know that the longer I play Pikmin, it gets depressing. Yeah. I start getting sad when I play Pikmin. Oh,
well, that's so sad to hear. But that is a backlog. So you too, even it's all like relative. You have your games and you still have a backlog. So,
but I've also kind of given up on the Switch entirely since I got my emulator. Like I just want to play that stuff all the time. Yeah. Although I'm still having some weird problems with the interface that at some point I need to pick your brain about. But I know your brain has been otherwise occupied lately, so I have not brought it up.
It has had, which again, why gaming has been so great, just to kind of focus on something else and just kind of zone out. But I started making a list, like a prioritized list of what games I want to play. And I'm going to stick to it. But I have to stick to one at a time because if I put one down and pick something else up, it gets very difficult to remember what I was doing, where I was. So if Valkyria Chronicles 3 ever ends, then I'll move on to maybe Persona 5. But I have to say, Valkyria Chronicles 3, the best game in the series. And they've released 4 games, and it's the only game that was not released here, or was not released outside of Japan. So I'm playing it thanks to a fan translation, which is for a story-based action or turn-based strategy RPG game. It's incredible how much they've translated in this game, how much text they had to do. So just kudos to people out there in internet land who do.
What system is that game for?
It is for the Sony PSP.
An oldie.
It is an oldie. And again, it's very much, it's similar to Advance Wars. But like if you made an anime of Advance Wars, that would be like this. There's every character is unique. There's a lot of story to it. There's so much happening with your squad is kind of like this this reject squad from the army. They're called nameless. They don't even use names because they're just so expendable. It's a really, really great. And I think they actually did make an anime for it. But yeah, I'm loving it.
So you're making the time for it, but you're also sort of rethinking how you're buying games to try to prevent that backlog. Because you said you did want to kind of tie this into some like purchasing habit conversations you're having with yourself.
I'm trying not to buy anything at all at like across the board, games, toys, anything like, and just deal with what I have. Like the toys are just piling up and causing me angst. So while there was things out there that I'd like to get, like that stone tablet from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and there's a new Mandalorian from SH Figure Arts, I'm just like, no more buying anything. And same thing with the backlog for games. It's like, I've got enough to play. Just like play what you have, because otherwise the piles, whether they're virtual piles or real piles, they weigh heavy on the soul.
Yeah, at least until, again, I know you're also still working through your room there. I know that, you have plans to sort of get everything displayed differently, kind of organize it. And then maybe then you can kind of reopen the floodgates when you kind of have more leeway of where things are going and 100% what you're gonna do with them.
100%. But unfortunately, progress has completely stalled there, which sucks.
Yeah.
So,
you'll get there. Buck up, trooper. We'll beat this mountain together.
Awesome. But I'm having fun playing games, and it's much less doom scrolling, which again, I think is good for my mental health. Like just putting down the phone. And I've been bringing, I'm playing Valkyria Chronicles on one of those, retro emulators on my AYN Thor. And I don't even care now. I just bring it on the bus in the morning. And I'm like, all right, well, just bust this out, with all these suits around me.
No headphones, volume all the way up.
Oh, right? Yeah, because that is what you do on the bus. Just like when you make FaceTime calls and you do them on speakerphone at full volume. Yeah, we should talk about bus etiquette one day, because it's
I have not really been on buses regularly since about 2001, but I am still scarred to this day from the stuff that happened on those buses 25 years ago.
Yeah, and there's signs. There's signs on the bus. It's very.
They say long-haired freaky people need not apply.
Yes, they do. No, they tell you what to do. The only solace I have is that I would say 90% of the people on the bus when I'm taking it are commuters. So they all give the same look of disdain to those folks who are not following the rules. But I don't know. People just walk around and talk on speakerphone. Like that's the thing. That's what you do.
Yeah, I don't like people so much.
Yes, but no, I'm sitting there. I'm playing my game on the bus. I don't care anymore what they say. This is my life. But it's been fun. Yeah. So again, trying to focus what little time I have on things that are bringing me joy.
Excellent. It's a good thing to do. Focus on the things that you love. Focus on the important. And it's definitely changed my way of kind of going through the day. And it's made it, in some ways, a little easier. And in some ways, it just gives me something different to stress out about.
Nice. Awesome.
All right. On to the next one.
Next bagger.
Perfectly excellent.
We've never really done this a whole lot before, like talking about food in detail. But I had to talk a little bit about the new root beer float flavored cinnamon toast crunch.
I have no words, so please continue.
So were you aware, until I sent you a picture of it, were you aware that this existed?
And I frequent the cereal aisle on every opportunity, and this somehow just didn't register. I don't think I've seen this one. I know I haven't seen it because it's You'll remember.
I believe it's a Walmart exclusive. So
I
I am not really one who goes to Walmart, but I had to go. My wife and I had to go there for a very specific reason that I cannot remember. And we walked down the cereal aisle because I'm like, well, while I'm here, let me just go get some grape nuts. And we walked by this thing, and I'm like, oh,
interesting.
Hello, what have we here?
Yeah, I love this picture with this milk too. Is that how you get milk in a clear?
I drink rice milk.
Okay.
So rice milk comes kind of in like this box that doesn't lend itself well to shaking things. So I just bought a plastic milk jug to pour my rice milk into. So yeah, that is my actual milk.
Okay, that's great. I didn't know if they were trying not to advertise or play favorites to any milk brands, but
no, that is my picture.
I
have a thing with the lactose sometimes, so
yes.
I stick with the rice milk. It's better for me.
You just have no tolerance. You're not tolerant of lactose.
No, I'm not tolerant at all of the lactosians.
I'll not tolerate your lactose. You take that. Cool. Well, do tell.
Well, I'm a sucker for limited food items. If someone's mashing together things that I like in September when the pumpkin English muffins come out, I stockpile my freezer so I can eat that stuff all year long. Like I had that yesterday. Like I still have some frozen ones in my freezer from this past October. I'm not a big soda guy anymore, but I do love me a good root beer. So taking into account that, plus the fact that Cinnamon Toast Crunch is like a top tier cereal. Like there are very few cereals better than Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I had to try it, and it is interesting. It is a very interesting mashup of flavors. So
interesting is not a ringing endorsement, but please continue.
So I would say this: the first bite, while I wouldn't call it awful, it definitely doesn't taste right. Like it tastes like, what am I eating? Something is wrong with what I am eating.
Is it like what a computer thinks root beer tastes like? Is that what it is?
I'm not. It's that first bite. You're just like, this is bizarre, and it's not bad, but I don't think it makes sense. Then as you eat a little bit more, you kind of get used to it. And I will say this, it tastes like root beer. Like it very much tastes like root beer.
I think Manny's on your side here. He's saying that he's going to go buy some now. You've sold them with your, I don't even know, with your ringing endorsement there. Yeah.
But it tastes like root beer, which is not typically something I would pour milk into, which I know that root beer floats, root beer and ice cream is a big thing. That's never been something I've ever been a super huge fan of. I tend to like my root beer untainted by dairy, but I mean, it tastes like root beer with milk on it.
So you just don't seem happy about it though.
But that's the thing. The more you eat it, the more you kind of get used to it. And by the end of the bowl, it's genuinely pretty good. You just kind of have to get over that hump of, what am I eating? Like
the initial
this doesn't
shock.
make sense.
Yeah. That
root
shock
beer
to
should
your
not be
system. Crunchy root beer.
Because it really tastes like root beer. Like a couple years ago, they made root beer Oreos. And they were nice. They were like the vanilla cookies, and like the cream in the middle had a root beer-esque flavor to it. It was just sort of a nice, sweet thing. But it didn't taste like, oh, wow, this is like root beer in solid form. This stuff does. This just tastes like root beer. Like cardboard with root beer on it. Very bizarre, but I really like it by the end of the bowl. And my wife, I had my wife taste it. And she's like, this is pretty good. I kind of like this. So we actually bought another box of it because it was good enough to where we wanted to go back for another one. Now, I didn't stockpile. I didn't go buy 10 of them so I could have it forever because, they're probably not ever going to make this again. I'm really glad I tried it. It's pretty good. But that first bite is weird. It's really weird.
So you just got to commit to it. You got to be willing to
You can't take a bite and go, oh, this isn't for me. You got to power through. You can't give up.
Wow, they should put that on the box. Root beer float. You can't give up.
They need the Stanley Spadowski motivational speech as like the commercial for it.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean it's definitely intriguing. I would be willing to try it, but it as a Walmart exclusive, I don't know if I'll be able to savor the delights.
Yeah, again, it's not a place. You know, the extra box that we got, we specifically went back to Walmart to get this. So
yeah, I did not know there was exclusive cereals. I wonder what else they're hiding in their aisle.
There's lots of exclusive foodstuffs that are in different stores.
Cereals, though, that would
yeah. But anyway, I'm glad I tried it. I'm glad they made it. It was very interesting. Kudos to that team for trying something new.
All right.
And we got one more demon bag to go. I think we got time for it.
Let's do it.
Perfectly excellent.
Oh.
Godzilla. Ultimates. Super 7 is putting out their newest wave of Godzilla Ultimates. And we had just mentioned earlier that we like to try to focus on the positive things in life. Mm-hmm. But I'm probably going to sound a little bit whiny when I'm talking about these.
Always look on the bright side of life.
I'm trying.
Okay.
You know, Super 7 is finally moving into the Showa era of Godzilla movies for their Ultimate line. We've got three figures. We've got from the left to the right, Godzilla 1954, Mecha Godzilla 1974, and Godzilla 1974. Mm-hmm. I am a little cranky that they did not finish up the Heisei era stuff to my satisfaction before moving on to
your satisfaction.
Yes. It's, to me, pretty egregious that they never made a King Ghidorah or a Rodan figure from the Heisei era, but yet no problem making like 4 different versions of Space Godzilla. And, you know, they made Mogura, and like no one needs Mogura more than they need King Ghidorah. Like that's not a sentence any Godzilla fan will ever say.
I feel like they needed to consult with you on this ahead of time.
They don't have to consult with me. There's like a billion Godzilla fans out there, and none of them are going to say, I don't need King Ghidorah. Just get me that, 1994 version of Mogura. That's what I need.
Is he difficult? Is he like a crazy looking Godzilla?
King Ghidorah is the 3-headed dragon guy. So he's big, which I'm sure has something to do with it. Rodan is the one that looks kind of just like a pterodactyl. So there's no reason they couldn't have done Rodan. And you'll never convince me that more people would buy a Mogura figure than would buy a Rodan figure. That just would never happen.
Yes.
But anyway, like that's part of the problem. I've definitely been waiting for them to do the Showa stuff. Like that's the era of Godzilla that I like most. The 54 to 75. Those are the Godzilla movies that I fell in love with when I was a kid. I like the 90s ones too, but like those early ones are really the ones. And the 1974 Godzilla suit design, along with, just Mechagodzilla in general, like those are some of my absolute favorites. But I'm finding that I just can't really get that excited about these. Again, some of it is being a little frustrated that they didn't finish the line that I was already working on. I have pretty much all of the Heisei era figures that they've put out. And like there's 2 big holes that need to be filled. They haven't filled the holes properly. Yeah, the other part of it is it's kind of the price. So they've upped the price of these figures again, and they're now $95 each.
Up from what were they?
Up from 85. Up from 85. But that is a lot of money. Even if I only order the 2 that I want the most, which would be Godzilla 74 and Mechagodzilla, that's still more than $200 after tax and shipping. And they're pretty big, so they take up a lot of space. Like they don't, they're 6-inch scale, or sorry, 7-inch scale figures. So, they're not like hugely tall, but like once you factor in the tail, they're just gigantic. And you can't really fit them on a shelf like this. You have to kind of fit them on a shelf like that. So they take up a lot of space. They also like the extra bits and bobs over at the end. That's the super pack, which you can only get if you buy all 3 figures directly from Super 7.
That's lame.
And they only did 500 of those, which again, they do that all the time. And I'm not usually too upset by it because the extra head thing isn't always something that I care a whole lot about. But the Mecha Godzilla head shooting the laser beams out of his eyes, that's a pretty big deal piece. And the fact that that's sort of locked behind a buy all 3 at in a limited amount of time, that kind of bummed me out. But what makes me more aggravated is actually that the little statue, that's the idol that summons King Caesar. That thing rules, and like that should come with Godzilla, or it should come with King Caesar rather than like.
Seems like that would make sense. That's his thing.
Which means that they're obviously never going to make that character, and again, he's a lower tier figure. I get that, but I'm kind of annoyed about the super pack thing because I don't want all 3 of these, and I'm not sure that I really need any of them because I'm trying to focus on the things that are the most important. Because of the money, because of the space, because of my mental health to try to stop chasing the completest stuff and get the important stuff.
Got it. And these are not the important stuff?
They're cool, but I don't know that I can call them the important stuff. I think I'm not there yet, but I'm kind of coming to the conclusion that it's probably best if I just keep focusing on the smaller reaction figures. Like the
You're right.
Of course,
don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself.
Like the little figures like that. Because they're making like tons and tons and tons of those. So I think it's best that I just focus on that for space concerns, for money concerns. And it still lets me buy some modern figures. I'm really cutting down the modern stuff that I buy, but I like buying those Godzilla reaction figures. I like buying the G.I. Joe classifieds. I'm trying to kind of put the kibosh on most other things. So I think I'm going to hold off on these. I mean, I have a nicer Mecha Godzilla than that. I've got the Chogokin Mecha Godzilla that's made out of metal. And
there you go.
It's
as Mecha Godzilla would want to be.
It's way cooler than this. And while I do not have a Godzilla 74 suit that's quite as nice as this, I'm not gonna lie, I really want this. I'm trying to talk myself into just seeing if I can hang on, and maybe there'll be one that goes on sale after it comes out for real. Because $95, and then can you just buy the one and not have the the 74? They're in the same movie, they should be fighting each other, so it's like
Wait, they fight each other?
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
We haven't made it that far. I haven't made it that far yet. So
we'll get there. We'll get there. The Rewind Club will get to the Mecha Godzilla movies in that time.
The one little head looks just like the other head. Is there any? What's the big
the 54 there? One? Yeah. I guess it's just growling a little bit more. I don't really know. Again, I'm not an extra heads and hands and stuff. I don't really care about that stuff a whole lot. But I don't know. I'm gonna pass on this at least for right now. The super packs are sold out, so there is no longer any potential to get all 3 in the extra stuff. So that's off the table at this point.
Oh,
but it just sort of feels to be not pre-ordering something that I've really been waiting for them to get to. I've really been waiting for them to get to this era of Godzilla in these larger scale figures. But now that they're here, I don't want to necessarily invest in something that I'm unsure how far they're going to go because they didn't finish off what they had started the first time.
Should get Brian on here and talk this out. What's the plan? Let us know.
There's more important people than me, and again, a lot of it is space concerns. I don't have room for a whole bunch of these, so I gotta stand down for right now. But again, it just feels weird because this is something that 3 years ago I would have been like, I can't wait for this. Gimme. But
all right, let's see how this plays out. I'm curious to keep tabs and see if you have a breakdown, or maybe, like you said, maybe you catch one on sale, which is
if I could get one of those for $55, I'd grab it for something like that. But it's a lot, it's big, and my priority is elsewhere right now. My priority is stuff like this. This is the stuff that's bringing me the real joy right now.
Hey, I think that's good. Again, you're keeping me focused. So So kudos to you. I know it's tough. Like sometimes you see those
It's
things, and that's what I'm dealing with right now as well.
You have to rewire, and I'm still in the process of it. Like it's very difficult to not want everything, to not, I have that completist mindset. We've talked about this for decades. Like I feel like I need that stuff, and I'm trying to push that out of my system.
Cool. Well, I think this is like therapy for us when we get together once a week to talk it through. Because I'm still feeling the pull for some of those things, but I'm trying to be good as well. So we'll see how it goes. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Good luck to you as well. To not spend too much money until the next cool thing comes along.
Yes. Awesome. Those were good bags.
Yeah, that was a fun little thing. We had a lot of stuff to talk about. I felt like it was very heavy on my side of the equator. So hopefully the next time we do one of these, we can have a more even disbursement. So apologies to anyone out there if you had to listen to too much of my nonsense. But
I will hunt down some bizarre cereals. I haven't had anything in a while. But
I'd like to do some of these like food review things, like like Taco Bell like does all sorts of like limited things that pop up every once in a while. I think it'll be interesting if we reviews the foods.
Okay, I'm down. I do like food.
I do like food. Food is good.
Yes, awesome. Well, thanks for everybody for hanging out with us tonight. As we went through the bags. Hopefully, we'll be back next Thursday with more fun.
It'll be episode 50. So whatever we do has to be a big one. So
has to be monumental. Okay.
Maybe it'll be that Nintendo one that we've been threatening for a while. We'll have to see.
All right. Yeah, I would love to chat about that. But for now, signing off. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Great rest of your week, weekend, whatever. We'll see you next time.
See you soon.
Perfectly excellent.